All right, we're live. What's happening, people? I'm sure everybody's gonna come in here eventually at some point. Um, Aria, what's happening? Week 7 for San Francisco, Seattle will probably be Monday. I haven't had a chance to really gather my thoughts about it, and my wife and I just got a new house, and we were cleaning out the basement today and moving some stuff over there. So I've been busy today, but yeah, that will be probably on Monday. I'm a little pissed off about it still. So I'm not pissed off that the Seahawks beat the Niners. I mean, well, that makes me mad, but I'm more pissed off at the way it happened. So that's what's my thing right now. Sport Dog, what's happening? PPR, two flex spots, Forsett and Snead, or Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson and Moncrief from my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Um, Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, but the way the Bills are playing, it might be well enough to play both of them. And excuse me one second, real quick. My wife is calling me. I'll be right back here. Snead instead. Let me see here. PPR, two flex spots. Forsett and Snead or Woodhead and Diggs. I think I'd take Woodhead and Diggs. I have Robinson Moncrief for my wide receivers. I'm worried about Robinson. Would you consider Snead instead? I'm worried a little bit about Robinson too, and we can't hear me. I am sorry about that. Oh, I just realized that my mic wasn't on. Um, Sorry about that. I just realized it. I had the chat up. Let me re-announce what I just said. My goodness, I'm sorry. Let's start this over. This is so bad today. I'm sorry. It's bad, apparently bad, annoying things happening all at once. Um, so real quick, the um, the um, the fantasy show, the Q&A, probably in 3 weeks, probably won't be on unless maybe Siggy does it, because I'm going to be moving into my new house. I do not have internet yet, so I'm not sure that is. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have it that time. And the Stardom and Situm might go up earlier that week on the Tuesday, but I might also create another video for the following week, for the Thanksgiving week, basically. I might put up a video early for the Stardom Situm, which means I'm doing 2 shows in 1 week, which means I don't know if injuries are going to happen. I'm just basically predicting stuff in the future that might happen, and I don't like doing that so much, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but I'm moving the week of the 14th, so, and then after that I'm going to Florida the following Saturday. So that's 2 Q&As that I'm probably not going to be able to do, so I'm going to hopefully have Siggy do them. If he can't, then I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. Obviously, I'm going to Florida to visit my dad for Thanksgiving, and I'm moving the week before that. So a lot of crazy stuff has just been happening. The wife and I just got a house, so we're just trying to, get our stuff organized. But I'm trying to do everything I can quickly, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. There's a lot of stuff here to move. So we'll see what happens with that. I have not looked at the chat yet. I'm kind of just, talking to you guys, but I might have Siggy do the Stardoms. It won't obviously look like this, how I normally have it, or it won't look like stuff like I normally do it, because he doesn't have the stuff that I have to do stuff with, to edit. So, I can ask him to try, but he doesn't have this stuff. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it the way I do it. So it might look a little different, the Stardom and Situm for a week. I don't know, what is it, 9 or 10 or something like that. But we'll see what happens with it. We'll see how it goes, and we'll go from there. Sorry about that. My wife was calling me. She wasn't calling me on the phone. She was actually calling me over there. She's over there sleeping. Well, going to be sleeping in a minute. But she needed me for something real quick, and I had to go. So sorry about that. What else? Let's start getting into this. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff in here. Rishi, I want to talk to you, buddy. You do not have Google Plus, okay? You need to. I sent you a couple messages because I felt bad because I can never answer your questions on the Stardom and Situm show. I'm glad you're in here. Listen to me. You either have to sign up for Google Plus or just like attach your accounts, or I don't know what you have to do. But if you notice, when you comment, you don't have anything underneath that says reply. I can't reply to you. So you need to figure out a way to either sign up for Google Plus or something, because when you comment on there and you're signed up for Google Plus, I can reply, but I cannot reply. So I'd sometimes tag your name to try to reply, but I don't know if you see it, but that's what I have to do. And that's just the way I can reply. So I just want you to know I'm not ignoring you. I see it. I actually sent you 2 private messages on your YouTube just to make sure you know that. So I don't know if you're responding right now, but I'll look at it in a minute. But my answer to you is Tannehill. So Pedo says Jays suck. By the way, those people that said the Cubs were going to beat the Mets, what happened? Pick 2, Stephon Diggs or Mike Evans, and Odell and Cooks. Out of those 2, I would say Beckham. You always got to put Beckham and Diggs. Randall or Antonio Andrews. I know it's sad. I don't know if Randall's going to play a lot. I think he's going to play a little bit, but Christine Michael apparently might be the guy. So in that case, I know Antonio Andrews. Who are they playing again? Tennessee, playing Atlanta. I don't know what to tell you. I think you might have to roll with Antonio Andrews. Antonio Andrews, Tracandrick West, Duke Johnson. This is even more sad. There's a lot of bad matchups. People have bad matchups this week. I have bad matchups this week as well, but Duke Johnson has, that's a rough matchup, but he does get catches. So you never know. He's explosive out of the backfield. Tracandrick West, they're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's run D is pretty good. Their pass D sucks, but their run D is really well. So I'm not sure. Charcandrick West catches balls better than Nile Davis, so I think they have him in there for that, and they're trying to use him in that other role. So out of those three, I think I'll tell you Charcandrick West because at least he get a chance to catch the ball. Tannehill, Stafford, and Cutler choose two. Tannehill and Cutler. Stafford has a really bad matchup. Cutler, who are they playing? The Bears are on bye, so obviously it's Tannehill and Stafford. Sorry, the Bears are on bye, so you just made your choice for you. Who do you think will win this game? Dallas versus the Giants. Who do I think is going to win? I think the Giants are going to win, but that doesn't really matter. This is fantasy football. Tannehill or Bortles in a PPR. In a PPR league. What does it matter if the quarterback's in a PPR? Is it different scoring on a PPR for quarterbacks? Because I don't play PPR league, so I don't know. If there's something different, whatever, I don't know. But I would tell you Bortles because he's probably going to play from behind. And the Bills' pass D right now is suspect with all the injuries and the way they're playing defense right now. Blue Jays laid a massive egg. Yes, they did. Andrew Luck or Matt Ryan. I would take... that's a good one. You know what? I would say Luck's matchup is way better. New Orleans Saints, their pass D is not that great. Tennessee's pass D is at least a little bit better than theirs. Jordan Matthews or Eric Decker. I would say Decker. I think Decker's the one that's going to have a good week this week against the Patriots. Jordan Matthews, right now he has just been horrible, and he's going to have Josh Norman all over him, and Josh Norman's been shutting down people. Standard League running backs, Ivory and Vereen, or Ivory and Dexter McCluster. I would say Ivory and Vereen. Man on third, no outs, and couldn't cash in. Still talking about that. Robinson, Macklin, or LaFell, who would you sit? Out of that bunch, I hate to tell you this, but I think I would sit Robinson. He's been tough. Although, you know what, though? It's hard to sit Robinson because I would sit LaFell. It's because the Patriots are playing the Jets, and the Jets are tough on wide receivers. So sit LaFell this week. That would probably make it easier because Robinson's going to have Stephon Gilmore all over. Stephon Gilmore has been playing very well. He's the only corner right now playing very well for the Bills. And Macklin, I mean, they're playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's suspect on D, so you don't want to sit him. But so you would go with LaFell because he just came off the PUP list, and I mean, how is New England going to use him in the first game back? You never know. You never know if they're going to use him a lot or they're not. But they're still playing the Jets. The Jets have a tough D again in the air. Atlanta D or St. Louis D, I would toss a coin and pick heads or tails for that one. Because I think Atlanta D is going to do well this week. I think St. Louis's D is going to do well this week. So those are two defenses that I have starting on my FanDuel. Camber, is everything messed up right now? Is everyone's thing? Oh, she's talking about the thing. Starting. Yep, it's paused. I can hear him barely talking. He's on the shitter. He's taking personal call. That's why I could hear him. All right, just making sure I pick a winner. You can hear me. Oh, yeah, my mic was on. No audio, can't hear. No volume, can't hear. No audio. JT, no audio. Please, no volume, no volume, no volume. We can hear you. Please, no audio. Can't hear. No audio, no audio. It's been a while. Audio's broken. No audio. No audio since you returned from your break. No audio, bro. Wait. Wait till he looks in the chat. Fix. There you are. We can hear you now. Okay, good now. Steve Smith. All right, sorry. I'm reading all the chat from before. Steve Smith or Kendall Wright in PPR. I would say Kendall Wright. Steve Smith is going to be having problems with Patrick Peterson. Blue Jays or Royals. It doesn't matter. It's over now. It's Royals, obviously, won. I think I get 10 points each out of Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs. Think I get 10 points each out of Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, and Wesley Snead. You might get 10 points for Diggs and Snead. Who's Tampa Bay playing again? Washington? They're a little tougher in the air. Oh, no, they're not. Maybe not. You might get 10 points each out of them, yeah. Depends if Winston wants to throw to Evans. He don't want to throw to him, it seems like. What pick do you think the Niners going to get? Your thoughts? You can find those thoughts in my Niners video. Sorry. I'll do that on Monday. Hi, JT. Pick 2, Jay Cutler, Matthew Stafford, Ryan Tannehill. Jay Cutler's not playing. So Matthew Stafford and Ryan Tannehill, but I think you know that because I think you heard me now. I do have Google Plus, so that's weird. I don't know, Rishi. You're gonna have to figure it out. Because if you notice on the thing, I cannot reply to you. So I just wanted you to know that I couldn't reply. Um, should I risk starting Christine Michael or Melvin Gordon? Gordon's playing. They're playing Oakland. I don't know. I have Christine Michael. He's on the bench for me, but I have a different running back matchups. That's why I had the luxury of putting him on the bench. If I had some bad running backs, being Melvin Gordon, who hardly he doesn't get a lot of carries because he splits with Woodhead. So I would probably take the risk of starting Christine Michael. I hate to tell people to take risks sometimes, but sometimes if you don't take risks, you'll never know, and then you'll beat yourself up later if he gets a bunch of points. I have Macklin and Moncrief. Should I release any of them for LaFell? I wouldn't release those two for LaFell, not just yet. I would find somebody else to drop. Rashad Jennings or Robert Woods, standard flex, go Mets. That's right. And I would take, for flex, I would take probably Woods. He's going to get the majority of the targets this week against Jacksonville. I mean, he's literally going to get the majority of the targets because there's nobody else. I mean, Marquise Lee is hurt. Not Marquise Lee, but Marquise Goodwin's hurt. And on top of that, so is Sammy Watkins. So it's the Woods show, if he even has a show. Um, Also, I read Randall will get bulk still. I don't know. We'll see. I still think it's Christine Michael. They don't want to tell anybody. But there was a reason why it was announced this week, so they might have let it slip. Lineup prediction: Luck, Foster. But I've been wrong before. Remember the whole Joseph Randall won't score thing, and then he scored 3 touchdowns one game and had one great game. I've been wrong before. Pedo knows that one. Pedo knows that one big time. Randall, Michael, or Charkandrick West. I would tell you Charkandrick West. I like Michael, but I'm still not sure whether or not he's really going to be playing or starting. I like Charkandrick West because he's going to be playing. He's going to get the bulk. They like him a lot, and they're going to throw to him a lot because that's what Alex Smith does, those two running backs. Lineup prediction: Luck, Foster, Gurley, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Martavis Bryant, Lambo, and Cardinals D. That's a good lineup, and I like Luck this week. Love Arian Foster, um, especially with the way Miami's been playing run D. Gurley is probably going to go off on Cleveland. Unless they somehow magically find a way to shore up that run D, Gurley's going to go off. Julio Jones, what he's going to do. Amari Cooper, I'm a little worried about because San Diego hasn't been kind of wide receivers this year. It looks like San Diego gives up all these points, whatever, but it hasn't been to wide receivers. It's been to other people. So we'll see what happens with that. I have Amari Cooper going in one of my leagues. Martavis Bryant, love him. Lambo, I mean, you're fine with there. Cardinals D, I love it this week, especially going against Baltimore, who's just banged up. So all good starts to me. I think you're probably going to go off this week unless some miracle happens, like I said. I think Dion Lewis is going to do better than LeGarrette Blount. I don't know how good he's going to do, but I think he's going to do better than Blunt. And the only reason I say that is because Jets stop those kind of runners where Dion Lewis is more shifty and he catches balls. So it'd be a little different because Jets have a hard time defending those kind of running backs. My league doesn't know about LaFell yet. My whole bench is starters with buys. Do I drop one of them for LaFell? Oh, hold on. I just lost that because I just hit more comments. Where'd it go? Oh, here it goes. My league doesn't know about LaFell yet. My whole bench is starters with buys. Do I drop one of them for LaFell? I would take the worst starter out of all of them and do that or something. But I don't know if you risk it. I mean, if you have to risk it because you need a player to put in, then you got to do what you got to do. But, I mean, he hasn't done anything yet. He's coming off the pup list and he's playing the Jets. So I don't know who you would drop or maybe start somebody else. At flex, this is probably obvious, but Evans versus Washington or Barnage versus St. Louis. I would go with the guy that's hot right now in Barnage. Can't. I mean, he even scored against people that he wasn't supposed to. He's been having an awesome year, and Josh McCown loves throwing to him. How many points for Stewart? If obviously you mean Jonathan Stewart, who are they playing again? Carolina, Philadelphia. I don't know. We'll see. Philadelphia's been tough on running backs. They were tough on the Giants running backs last week too. I was offered Brandon Marshall for Decker and Latavius Murray. Murray, should I do it or not? Or and Latavius Murray, should I do it or not? Um, Brandon Marshall for two players. It depends on who your other running backs are, I guess. If you have other running backs that are good and you don't need Murray and you can get Marshall, then take him because Marshall's the one who gets the majority of the catches. Fitzpatrick loves throwing to Marshall. Pick three running backs. To start out of Ivory, Doug Martin, Murray, Foster, and Lamar Miller. I'll definitely start Ivory against the Patriots. Doug Martin has a really good matchup against the Redskins. Latavius Murray has a really good matchup. Foster, who are they playing again? Houston. They are playing Miami. I think I would take Ivory, Foster, and Murray out of that bunch because San Diego has just been giving up crazy yardage to running backs. So I would probably take Ivory, Murray, and Foster. Should I drop it? I don't think you can go wrong with Lamar Miller this week. I don't think you can go wrong with Doug Martin. You actually have the bulk of the good people that actually have a good chance of scoring some points this week. Should I drop C.J. Anderson for Jones since Thompson is out this week? You better make sure Matt Jones is not banged up too. Here, I'll look at it real quick because from what I remember, I think he was a little bit banged up as well. Let's see here. Yeah, he's going to be the third down back. So um, I wouldn't drop C.J. Anderson just yet. At least he might get more carries. It looks like Matt Jones is the third down back for Sunday's game, and he has a toe injury still that he's nursing. He says he's probable, so it's obviously the toe's better, but still, it's a toe injury. Let's see here. Should I drop C.J. Anderson? Nope, I already did that. And where did that go? Pick two, Gore Miller. Oh, where did that? Pick two, Gore Miller, Forsett, or Martin. Jordan Matthews or Edelman. I'd still start Edelman. I don't even care if Darrell Revis is on him. He's still going to try to get targets. He's still going to catch us. Brady's not afraid to throw at Revis. Pick two, Gore Miller or Forsett. I would probably take Gore Miller no matter what because Forsett has a horrible matchup against the Cardinals. What big changes for the 49ers are going to do? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out in the next coming weeks. Allen Robinson or John Brown. I would take Brown over Robinson this week, especially with that matchup. Anyone think, oh, I lost it again. My goodness. Anyone think Deion Lewis will be any good this week against Jets defense? I don't know. I think, like I said, I think he's going to do better than Blunt, but I don't know how effective he's going to be. The Patriots are always effective with those kind of guys. The Jets have a hard time stopping those kind of guys. So I think, yes, he will score some good points for you. He's going to get in double-digit points, that's for sure. Theo Riddick or Antonio Andrews, I would say Theo Riddick because Theo Riddick has been the guy that Detroit seems to like. They're giving him the ball a lot more, and they seem to really have taken to him a lot. So I like him a lot. About my LaFell question, my bench is Dalton, Alfred Morris, Emmanuel Sanders, Tyler Eifert, McManus, and Broncos D. What's wrong with Alfred Morris? Who are they playing again? The Tampa Bay Bucks. I would start Alfred Morris. If you meant for LaFell and flex. If you're trying to put LaFell in a wide receiver because your guys are hurt, then that's a different story. But you have Emmanuel Sanders who's on a bye. I don't know what to tell you. You might have to drop one. If you're talking about putting LaFell in because you have no other wide receivers, so you have to put LaFell in for that, then yeah, I would pick him up for that reason because you don't want to leave an empty spot. Is Antonio Brown worth a start this week? Against Kansas City, yes. They don't really have that great of a secondary. They have Peters, who's a rookie, who's promising, but I mean he's still a rookie, and Antonio Brown's hard to cover. Jags or Bills. If you're talking about defense, I would take the Bills over the Jags. If you're talking about just a win, I think the Bills are going to win. Emmanuel Sanders and Arian Foster for Ivory. Emmanuel Sanders and Aaron Foster for Ivory and Brandon Marshall. I think you're getting basically the same players. I mean, Aaron Foster looks good so far. He's back, so I think Foster and Emmanuel Sanders is a good deal for both. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders, you gotta check him though because he's been having some problems, getting hit. I have Eifert on a buy, and I always tell people when you make a trade, I'll say this again, when you make a trade, make sure you look at your matchups for weeks 14. Just check your playoff matchups. Find out when your playoffs start. Check those weeks. Find out who the players you're trading for are playing those weeks. If those players that you're trading for have a better matchup than the players you're trading away, then yes, trade for those players. Why? Because chances are, and we're in week 7 now, so you pretty much know how defenses are unless some major injuries happen, but you know how defenses are working, you know how offenses are running. You got a feel for who you like and stuff. So I would tell you right now, if the matchups are better for the players you're trading for, take them. Because the reason is, maybe in the short run, they might not score as much as the players you traded away, but if you make the playoffs and you have those players and they play a certain team, like if you're trading for Arian Foster, and Arian Foster happens to be playing the Cleveland Browns week 16 or week 15, your first playoff game, they can't stop the run, and you know you're going to score a lot of points. You're going to score a lot of points with them. So you want to trade for players that you know are going to help you for your playoff run. Unless you're desperate and you're trying to make a run now because your team is just not doing well, then that's different. But if your team's okay and you're trying to make deals to do whatever you can do, strengthen your team with players that are good for the playoff run. That's what I always do. That strategy, I kid you not, that strategy has won me fantasy leagues a ton of times. People would ask me, why would you trade that player? Why would you do that? And next thing you know, I've won fantasy leagues because the players I traded for go off on those certain weeks because I always look ahead. I always have to look ahead. I have Eifert on buy, and I just dropped Gilmore for Ladarius Green. Dumb decision. Well, Gilmore has a bad matchup this week, so maybe not. And Ladarius Green's been getting catches and stuff. It's just Antonio Gates is stealing the touchdown, so he's back. So when Antonio Gates, that's going to be a rough one. But like I said, Gilmore has a bad matchup against Arizona. PPR league running backs, pick 2, Gore, Ivory, or Forsett. I would definitely take Ivory. And I don't know about Forsett. I'm still not sure. I'm telling you, Arizona's going to be all over that dude. They play the short game very well. They don't give up a lot of catches, so we'll see what happens with that. But Gore, who they playing? Gore has a good matchup against New Orleans, so I would say Gore. Gotta sneeze. Gore and Ivory. Lineup prediction: Tannehill, Foster, Deion Lewis. Should I start a banged up Lewis or Randall? Hopkins, Fitzgerald, Gates unless he's out. Barnage, Bills, D. Are you asking me if it's a good lineup? Is that what you're asking me? Tannehill's a pretty decent start against Houston because Houston hasn't been able to defend the pass that well, but they're okay. Foster's, I've already said Foster's great this week. Deion Lewis, I think he's going to score double digits. I'm not sure how much, but I think he's going to at least be in double digits because Blunt's going to be a non-factor against that Jets D. Hopkins must start at all times. Fitzgerald definitely because look who they're playing. The Ravens can't stop anybody. The 49ers passed all over them, and you saw what the 49ers did Thursday if you watched it. Gates, definitely playing him. But I would play Gates over Barnage this week, even though Barnage has been hot. I'd still play Gates this week because Barnage's matchup isn't as good as Gates. And the Bills D is, I think, a nice play. If you can pick up the Falcons D, I think the Falcons D is going to go nuts this week. Should I have a good week this week? PPR, Blake Bortles, Le'Veon Bell, Freeman, Antonio Brown, Decker, Tynez Walker. Yeah, you're going to have a really good week this week. Yes, you should. On paper, you should have a good week. Do you think Gates will play? I picked up Green off the waivers. As far as I know, he's supposed to play. Here, I'll let you know right now. I'll look him up, and we will see what the status is on Gates. He's got an MCL sprain. Yeah, I would watch that actually. I would watch to see if he's playing because if he's not playing, you might have to put somebody else in. He might still play with it. I believe he played with it last week. I mean, he came out of the game and he still scored, or not scored, but he still definitely had some yardage. So he should play, but we'll see what happens. It's hard to play with an MCL sprain though. The Broncos defense, they're not sleeping on them. People know about it. It's just that nobody's talking about it. I had the Broncos D on my. I slept on them this year. I'll tell you that. I did not have them ranked as high as they have been this year with their D. I did not have them high. I did not think they were going to be that high, but I was wrong. I was one of the people that were wrong. So, but I have their D on fantasy football. Rams or Cardinals. I think you can't go wrong with either or, but I would say the Cardinals over the Rams this week for defense. Where did I go? Who is sleeping on the Broncos defense? I don't think anybody is. How do you feel about Stephon Diggs? I love him. I liked him out of college, and I was hoping the Niners would draft him, but of course they didn't. But they got to steal Minnesota, and they're using him, so that's good. If Gates is out, it would be Tannehill, Foster, Deion Lewis, or Randall, Hopkins, Fitz, Barnard, Terrence Williams, Bills D. Okay. Should I drop, keep, and Smith? Torrey Smith because Cap is bad and Torrey's not getting targets. I only had Torrey Smith in one league, and that was FanDuel for 1 week, and that was the week against the Ravens, and he went off. And I'm not going to use him again. I don't trust him. And unless they're playing a horrible pass defense, I don't trust Torrey Smith. So I would tell you right now, drop him. He's not worth it. And Cat doesn't throw the ball to him. And they don't throw the ball that much as it is. So I knew the Ravens D was that bad. And that's why I had him as a start 1 week. 1 week out of what? It's week 7. And that's the only time I said start him. So yeah, Torrey Smith's not worth it. Bills D or Jets D, definitely Bills D. Jets D, you know who they're playing. I would not start them. Well, in plenty of my leagues, there's always on the pickup list. I always pick them up just from my experiences. Do you think the Niners are going to cut Cap? I don't know. We'll see. The Niners questions, I mean, we're doing a fantasy football show, so I'm sorry, Aria. I don't mean to be like a pain in the rear, but it's fantasy football questions, not really. I'm not trying to field Niner questions at the moment. You can ask me those on my Niner videos. I'll be glad to answer them. Do you think Martavis Bryant will go off this week against Kansas City? I love Martavis Bryant, period. And I don't know if Ben Roethlisberger's playing. I haven't heard. Let me look at that. I don't know if they even announced if he's playing, but if Ben Roethlisberger's playing, you know Antonio Brown's going to go off, and you know that the other one's going to go off too. Right now, he's still questionable, and it says he will not play Sunday. So, I like Martavis Bryant because it looks like Landry Jones has a good feel for them already. So, I like him. Top 3 D this week. My top 3 defenses, they're pretty much the Cardinals, the Falcons, and the Rams. Those 3. Well, Seattle was another one, and you saw what they did. If Gates doesn't play, who should I drop? Antonio Gates. You don't drop him. You mean you just take him on the lineup? You don't want to drop somebody. You don't want to drop Gates. Somebody's going to pick them up on you. You don't want to drop either one of those. If you're in a position where Gates isn't playing and Martellus Bennett's on your bench, you don't want to drop either one of those. You want to try to drop somebody else, pick up a tight end, put him in for 1 week, and then drop that tight end and then pick up another player. But if you're in a position to drop somebody to pick up, I would pick up Ladarius Green if you can, or Jordan Cameron, but don't pick up. Don't try to pick up. Don't try to drop Gates or Bennett. I mean, you're going to lose a good player, and somebody's going to grab a player that they're going to get points with. Travis Benjamin or Roddy White. I would take Benjamin because he's at least in the, Roddy White's not getting that many targets, especially with Julio Jones back now and Leonard Hankerson playing well. Oh, I'm sorry, Mopar. I skipped you. I want to start Lamar Miller over Deion Lewis this week since Miller had a great game, but I don't know if the new coach of Miami is going to keep using the run. Definitely a head scratcher. I would say use Lamar Miller. I like Deion Lewis. He's going to get targets, but Lamar Miller has probably got a better matchup than Deion Lewis. Who do I start as my D? Pittsburgh, Atlanta, or Philly? I think I just answered that for you. I would start Atlanta. Atlanta's playing, they're playing Tennessee, and Tennessee, I believe, I don't even think Marcus Mariota is playing. Let me make sure, but I believe Marcus Mariota is not even playing. And if Marcus Mariota is not playing, that means Mettenberger's playing. And I don't know if you've seen Mettenberger quarterback, but he's not that good. He's not that good at all. So let me see if Mariota's playing. And he's out. Yeah, he's out. So it's Mettenberger, and Mettenberger sucks. So if you're looking for Atlanta, I'm telling you right now, Atlanta's D is going to be all over him. Let's see here. Red Lobster ad, sorry. Start Rashard Matthews or Stephon Diggs. It's a good question, actually. I think I would start Diggs, being that the Detroit secondary has been horrible. I know that Houston's hasn't been that great either, so I don't think you can go wrong with either or. But I think Diggs will have the better game. Who's number one in the red zone this week? Do you mean number one as in like the most touchdowns this week? Is that what you mean? I'm a Broncos fan. I'm scared for our next 2 games, to be honest. Do I start Antonio Brown? He has been quiet lately. The only time I said sit him was because they were playing the Cardinals, and I knew he was going to have a quiet game. They have a really good secondary. They have like a ton of people that can cover people, and that's why I said that. But this week against Kansas City, he might be worth a start still. How do you think the Panthers will do in Standard League? The Panthers D? I don't know. It depends on which Sam Bradford shows up. If it was the Sam Bradford against the Giants, then they'll do well. And I think they will because they've been struggling. Philadelphia's been struggling on offense. They're not that great. They score in their defense. They move the ball a little bit, but they've been struggling. And the Panthers D is actually not that bad. And Josh Norman's been a beast at corner. So I think they'll actually be fine against the Eagles. But maybe one of our we will go off against the Packers defense and Colts defense. Opinion on my PPR league lineup: quarterback Luck. Gore and Ivory, Robinson and Moncrief, tight ends Witten, flex Snead and Woodhead. Oh, you have 2 flexes, and defense Steelers. Love Luck this week. I've already talked about Gore and Ivory. Great matchups. Robinson, not sure of, but like I said, he's going to have Stephon Gilmore all over him. But that doesn't mean that he probably won't get targets. So I still like that unless you have a different option that I don't know about. Tight end Witten. I didn't like Witten this week going against the Giants, but they've been playing not that bad. Like they've been playing solid defense, but their offense last week stunk. The defense was okay last week, but they've been playing for the most part solid defense. Flex Snead and Woodhead. Love Snead this week. Love Woodhead. And Siggy apparently is going to jump on. So let me get that ready too. And we could probably stay on for a little longer if Siggy comes in here. So he might call in, and when he calls in, I will switch everything to get him in here. So looks like that's gonna work out. Let's see here, but should I start Luck or Matt Ryan? Oh, that's a good one. Um, I think Ryan has the tougher matchup than Luck because I mean Indianapolis is playing the Saints. The Saints suck on defense and they suck against the air. So I would say start Luck this week. I'm deep on quarterbacks and I don't know which one to trade away because I got Marion Dalton and Andrew Luck. Man, you're deep. You are not lying. You're deep on quarterback. You pretty much have all three of the good ones this year. What's this? Siggy's a trip. All right. So Siggy's coming in. Let's see what I can do here. And I just lost the page. I'm very sorry. Somehow I lost the page that I was supposed to be on here. Well, let me get back to it, to my comments. And then I'm going to have to get Siggy in here. I'm also going to have to stick headphones in my ears now because of that, because he's coming in. It's been a rough day for me on here. I made all these mistakes on here trying to talk to you guys today. Had the microphone off for a while. What am I doing? It's unprofessional today. Been a not professional show today. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. So if you're gonna trade him away, yeah, trade him away. I would trade. I would keep Dalton and Luck. I would try to trade Ryan and see if you can get somebody decent for him. I mean, find out your weakness on your team, whatever your weakness is on your team, and trade for somebody. Like I said, trade for somebody that has good matchups for the playoffs because it looks like you probably make the playoffs because you're taking 3 quarterbacks off the board already. Yeah, according to here, I'll read it for you. It says, "Did you say Roethlisberger is out? Is this confirmed?" I will read it to you. So let me pull it back up. Rankings, and let me find them real quick. All right, Ben Roethlisberger. It says Ben Roethlisberger will not play Sunday. Ben Roethlisberger knee will not play Sunday, according to Aaron Wilson of the Houston Chronicle. Such an outcome, which is thus in line to be confirmed upon the release of the team's Week 7 inactives, doesn't come as much of a surprise considering the Steelers promoted quarterback Tyler Murphy from their practice squad earlier Saturday. Landry Jones is on track to start Sunday's game against the Chiefs, with Roethlisberger and Michael Vick both dealing with injuries. It remains to be seen whether the 33-year-old quarterback will be able to play in what amounts to a critical Week 8 AFC North matchup against the Bengals, but considering he was unable to practice most of this week, Roethlisberger could have a chance to suit up next Sunday. There you go. There's your, if you want to read that, it's on NFL.com. Just click on NFL.com Fantasy and it has it there. I can look on ESPN too if you want. Good quarterback waiver wire pickup this week. Stafford, Tannehill, Carr, or Hoyer. There's Siggy. Give me 1 second here. What up? Hold on, let me get the headphones on because I'm live. So I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in live. Give me 1 second here. Let me stick you in. Why can't I hear you? Oh, there you go. That's why. Let's see here. There's Siggy. You're kind of like ghetto-y in there, but that's all I can do. Because I don't have squares in there, so not like I usually do. But now they should be able to hear you too. So
What up?
you are now live. They should be able to see you now. So I was gonna
I
go a little
saw a
longer
question that
since you
said,
came in, like around another
all right,
25 minutes longer now.
no problem. I saw a question about Roethlisberger. It was confirmed that he is out. So whoever asked that, uh,
Yeah.
federal
Right
or
now
whatever.
I'm at the part where, um, do you see where it says poop pie eater, good quarterback waiver wire pickup this week, Stafford, Tannehill, Carl Hoyer. That's where I'm at. So feel free to
Ah,
answer. Feel free to answer anything you want.
no problem.
If you
I
have a
actually think
if you have a
Tannehill should do
question for
good this
me
week.
directly, feel free to just message. Say JT. Who do you think? If you have a message for Siggy directly, say Siggy. That way we at least know who you want to answer. Or if you want both of us to answer, we'll both answer. But for where was that? Stafford, Tannehill, Carr, or Hoyer. I would say probably Tannehill has the best matchup, or Carr. But Carr, San Diego's been tough on wide receivers, but they haven't been tough on quarterbacks in general.
I think Tannehill. Tannehill has the better weapons too.
Who else we got in here? Yeah, I can read them to you if you want. Where are they? Chris Ivory over or under 20 fantasy points this week against the Pats.
I think they're going to score on the Pats. So 20 points, I mean, that's a lot to ask for. He should get a touchdown, I think. I can see him getting 80 to 100 yards on the ground on this game if, and this is a big if it's close. Now, if they fall behind early, if it's 21-7 at halftime, then you're going to have to probably see more Powell because they're going to be throwing more, doing some screen passes, etc. So I don't know if Ivory is going to be that guy. He could. I mean, sometimes he is, but they really like pounding the ball with him. So I think realistically, I'm looking at maybe a 15-point matchup with the Patriots. Now, if it's close, though, I mean, I can easily see 2-3 TDs on the ground with him. So who knows? I mean, the Patriots defense isn't really all that great, as far as whenever they play teams like the Jets. Usually these, rivalry games are kind of unpredictable. I mean, look what happened with Buffalo and Patriots. Everybody thought that was going to be a defensive game, and it wound up being a high-scoring game. So who knows?
I would start Decker over LaFell for PPR. What do you think? I mean, LaFell just came off the pup list, and they're playing the
Nah, yeah,
Jets.
Decker for sure.
Jets are
Decker for
tough on
sure.
wide
Oh,
receivers.
great. Now my baby's screaming. Hold on first.
Oh, go ahead, man. Gonna start Brian Hoyer as my quarterback this week. Think he'll get through Miami defense pretty well. Um, I don't know. I think so. I think he's gonna have okay. Miami's defense hasn't been great, and they've been all banged up in the secondary. Their defensive line hasn't been that great either. So if he's in trouble, then maybe have a hard time. But I think Brian Hoyer is not a bad start either. I just think Tannehill's probably a little bit better than him for the start. That is. Um, I'm sure you have mentioned it. Just tuned in. What's the status on Gates? I muted Siggy because his baby's crying. By the way, so that's where he went to go. He went to go check on his baby. I'm sure you mentioned just tuned in. What's the status on Gates? He's questionable. They think he's gonna play. He has an MCL sprain, so you never know with him. He was playing last week on it at the end of the game, so I'm not sure. But I would monitor him tomorrow, especially to find out if he's playing or not. I'm monitoring him my own self. I have him on my FanDuel, so now that I know he's hurt, I might not play him just for the simple fact that I don't, when you're playing with FanDuel, you're playing for money, and if he doesn't play, or if he sits out, or if he gets hurt during the game even more, then you lose points, you lose money. So I might change him on one of my FanDuels. Should I package Cobb and Lacey in a trade offer 2-for-1, or is it crazy to give up both? With the way Lacey's been playing this year, it seems like Starks is the man right now for that team. But Cobb is still a good pick. I mean, he's going to get targets regardless. But it depends on who you give it up for. I guess I should say who you're giving it up for.
Sorry about that.
And he's back. I have him unmuted. Sorry, I muted you so you don't have to hear.
Oh. Oh, wait.
I'm at right now.
Man. Where are you at right now?
I am.
No, hold on. Hold on again. Sorry.
It's okay. Hey JT, Brandon LaFell or Michael Floyd this week? I love Floyd's matchup. What do you think standard scoring? I would take Floyd over him too. You're not sure who's going to get the ball in Arizona. It's always either John Brown or Larry Fitzgerald lately. But Michael Floyd still gets targets too. So I would say, especially against Baltimore, Baltimore sucks. I think everybody's going to have good targets this week. Decker or LaFell Siggy. I'll leave it for Siggy when he comes back again. Bolden or Torrey Smith. I don't like either. Oh. All right. There's a question for you in here, actually.
What's that? Decker
says,
or Moncrief?
Decker or LaFell, he said.
I would go Decker for sure. Yeah, I get some page.
Someone's saying Bolden or Torrey Smith. 49ers D or St. Louis D. The 49ers already played. So St. Louis D. And you don't want to put their D in. Their D is horrible this year. They're just not playing up to par. They're not playing as they should. Mangini doesn't know what he's doing right now. Mangenius has not been a genius. He's asking you another question. Siggy, Decker, or Moncrief for flex spot?
I would go. That one's interesting.
I know, right?
With Luck back, I would say Decker because Luck looks towards T.Y. Hilton more. And we saw that this past game. I think Moncrief got 0 points, right? He didn't even get a catch,
touchdown.
I think.
He got a touchdown.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Got a fade back in the end zone. He actually got more targets, not than Hilton, but he got a touchdown. I know that.
Okay, I was probably thinking of the Thursday night game.
It was Andre Johnson who didn't get targets again. Now that Luck's back.
Yeah. I mean, it's a toss-up. I mean, they're both the second option. I think. Yeah, I mean, Moncrief has been doing pretty good this year. I don't know. I trust Decker more though.
Atlanta defense or Jets defense? I would take Atlanta's for sure this week.
Yeah, Atlanta this
Jets
week.
Are playing New England.
Yeah.
New England, man, they can score on anyone. It don't matter who they are, really. It seems like. But Atlanta's defense, I mean, they're going against Mettenberger. Like I said, anybody that's going against Mettenberger, you got to start them.
Yep. Oh man, again. Hold on.
Hey man, you got a kid. That's what happens.
I know.
I could replace Robinson with Diggs, but I hear that Coach Turner may opt for Johnson. Have you heard anything regarding this? For Charles Johnson? No, not with the way Diggs is playing. They love Diggs. He's been a stud. I would actually this week I would go with Diggs over Robinson, but that's just me. Robinson, like I said, has a rough matchup with Gilmore, and Gilmore's been shutting down people. So I would definitely say Diggs this week. Um, DraftKings people think I'm crazy for picking the Browns defense instead of the Rams defense. Am I? Unless the Browns are doing something that you know that I don't know, but they're going to have a hard time stopping Gurley. I know they might be better against Nick Foles, but they're going to have a hard time stopping Gurley this week. The question I'm at is DraftKings people think I'm crazy for picking the Browns defense instead of the Rams defense. Am I? But sometimes it's good, though, to pick those teams that nobody else are picking on some of these things, because if they do go off and you do get that, you're probably the only one that picked the Browns D, unless you're a Cleveland Browns fan.
Nah, I mean, if it's a choice between Rams and Browns, I'll go Rams though, because the Rams at home, their defense is pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they stop a lot of teams. I would trust the Rams more than the Browns.
Mike Wallace or LaFell? That's a really good one because
they're both trash. I would say. I would say. I would say look for someone else. Diggs is going to get the targets in Minnesota for sure.
LaFell is going to be good later on in the year. Just not in this game. Like I say, just coming off the PUP list. I don't know how good he's going to be coming, having played a game this year and then going against the Jets of all the teams.
Exactly.
Will Keenan Allen have a big fantasy week, Siggy?
Isn't his hip hurting or something?
Yeah, he messed up his hip. He's playing, but he messed up his hip.
I trust Gates more as long as Gates is healthy than Keenan Allen at this point.
Gates has an MCL sprain, but he's questionable.
Oh, well, then never mind. So they're both hurt.
Play. Yeah, they're both hurt. They're in trouble. San Diego's got some problems.
Well, if Keenan Allen plays, obviously that injury is a lot. I'd rather have the hip than the MCL. So, Ladarius Green. I don't know if you have a big fantasy week. I think you have an okay fantasy if he plays. I mean, then again, it's if he plays, if he's healthy, monitor that. Obviously, you don't want to put all your eggs on him and then all of a sudden find out that he's not playing or he's limited. So just keep an eye on that.
Would you trade? Tate or Evans? It's another.
I'm assuming Mike Evans, right?
Yeah, Mike Evans hasn't been the same this year because Winston isn't throwing to him.
Yeah, he's not.
But I would take
because they've used Doug Martin also. I would take Tate.
Yeah, Tate's been on fire lately since they had that conversation with him.
Yep, I would say Tate.
Would you trade away Fitzgerald and try to get Marshall?
I would trade Fitzgerald because I don't trust his hamstring later on in the season. But you can get a lot better than Marshall at this point. I think Fitzgerald can get like an A.J. Green. He's been struggling. I think you should target some of these guys that haven't been having down weeks that have bigger upside. So A.J., even probably Megatron, you might be able to get out of a Fitzgerald right now. So don't sell yourself short. Try to go high. If you're gonna trade him, go up there.
Teams might bite on that, and you might get a stud player later who's gonna start going off. Like I always say, I keep telling you guys, check the matchups. So if you're gonna try to trade Fitzgerald, check the player that you're getting in return. Check their matchups for your playoff week. Whatever your playoff weeks are, check those matchups because you can get somebody that's gonna do good that week, or those 2 weeks that for your playoffs or 3, how many amount you're playing. Usually that's 14 through 16 in most fantasy football leagues. How will the Panthers D do this week in a standard league?
I think Panthers defense is okay. They're playing against
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles look so bad against the Giants, and if they played a team like the Panthers destroy them. Panthers have been playing pretty good ball. I think it'll be okay. I mean, I always worry about the Eagles that they'll put it together, and then all of a sudden, they'll be a 35, 40-point team, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Also, what's hurting the Eagles more is they don't have that running back that they used to have in McCoy or what Sproles did last year. So as long as that's not happening, then that offense isn't going to fire in all cylinders. So I think Panthers have a good week.
Should I trade Bolden, Torrey Smith, and I'm assuming Cap for Hurley and Bradford? Is that like a real question? Do you really have Bolden, Torrey Smith, and Cap on your fantasy team? That's got to be it can't be. If you are and you're trading and then somebody is
It's a
trading
49ers
that,
fan.
then yes, I think it's just a 49ers fan. They were
Hey,
asking
I'll
me.
trade them all.
They were asking me 49 questions earlier, but now I think she's just asking me that just to be funny. Because I told her to ask me only fantasy questions, not 49 questions. I said that's for 49er news. Good trade. I get Gurley and Hill for McManus.
That was a real good trade.
Yeah.
No, hold on real fast. No, come back.
It's all right. I was offered Demaryius Thomas for Jeremy Hill. Should I accept? It depends on who your other running backs are. If your other running backs are good, then yeah, I mean you could do it. You get a good wide receiver. If your wide receivers suck and you have some running backs to spare, you're trying to boost up your wide receiver class, then yeah, do that. If Gates doesn't play, who should I play? Eric Ebron? I don't know if Eric Ebron's playing. I would play Ladarius Green as his substitute because he's going to throw to him a lot. Let me check on Eric Ebron for you real quick, but I don't even know if he's playing. I think he might be hurt. He's probable now, so it looks like he is going to go. But I think I would play Ladarius Green. If Gates is hurt, get your hands on Green or play him. Let's see here. Depends on which position you're weak at, Joe. Charles Clay or Delaney Walker? Charles Clay or Delaney Walker? Charles Clay or Delaney Walker? Sorry, that's where I'm at.
Charles Clay, for sure.
Somebody asked me if Gates doesn't play, should I play Ebron or Ladarius Green? I told him Green.
Yeah, Green would be good. He would get most of the targets, especially around the red zone.
Charles Clay or Delaney Walker. I think I would play Charles Clay, right, against the Jaguars.
Oh yeah, Clay. Clay for sure.
Delaney
Especially
Walker,
since he's getting a lot of targets
Delaney
lately.
Walker, who they playing again? Tennessee's playing
Yeah,
Atlanta. Atlanta's given up 3 or 4 touchdowns the last 2 games to tight ends. I would.
You trust Muttenberger?
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, it's Mettenberger. Although Mettenberger was the one thrown to him last year, right? Or was it? Who was their quarterback last year? Was it Mallet on Tennessee?
No, it wasn't Mutton Chops, whatever his name is.
It was Mettenberger, right?
I still trust Clay because he's been getting targets, and now you have a situation where they have no Sammy Watkins or, what's his name? I think one of the other receivers is hurt, isn't it? Okay. I don't know, but Watkins is hurt. I just have a feeling Clay. I mean, they've been targeting him a lot, anyways. I think it's a safer play.
It's PPR league too.
Clay, then he'll get 5-6 catches minimum.
Question
with
for
a chance
both.
for a touchdown.
Question for both. Do you guys think it's worth keeping Deshaun Jackson on my bench for this long or drop him since Cousins can't hit targets?
I would try to trade him first. See what you can get out of him.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will bite.
And
you can get a player that's actually playing.
Like maybe if you didn't get Diggs, I would try to even trade for that. Somebody would probably be like, ooh, Deshaun Jackson. He's still a name. People go for names. So.
To answer your question here, he's saying, will Devontae Freeman run the way he's been for the rest of the year? I would say it's on the matchups. Let's look at their schedule. Falcons are playing.
I don't think so.
Falcons play Tennessee, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Carolina. The only tough matchups against the run are Carolina.
It's Carolina.
Yep.
So
Minnesota hasn't been able to
stop
the run this year that well. Indianapolis can't stop the run. They're okay. San Fran, my team, I tell you right now, have not stopped the run that well either this year like they usually do. Tampa Bay has been decent against the run, but they're not, they're going to have to stop Julio Jones. And who do they have to stop that? They can't stop both. So yeah, I think he can run that way. And his matchups for weeks, the toughest matchup he has is Carolina, and that's weeks 14 and 16. So those are your playoff weeks. It might be your
I don't trust his
championship week.
hamstrings either. I don't trust his health though. I really don't. Me, I would. I already traded in one of my leagues that I had, and I wound up getting Adrian Peterson for him, and
Wow.
I took that chance instead.
Yeah, I
So
have Tevin
I mean,
Coleman because I don't trust him either. So I've kept Tevin Coleman. He's stashed on my bench just in case.
you know,
Um, should I trade Hopkins for Antonio Brown or Julio Jones? I wouldn't trade Hopkins at
Julio
all.
Jones for sure.
Not the way he's getting targets.
I would
You
go
can
Julio.
get Jones fine because you're getting the same kind of player, but I wouldn't trade Hopkins at this moment right now. He's on fire and he doesn't look like he's gonna stop.
He's on fire, but do you trust Hoyer going like that the rest of the way? I think he'll get comfortable, and then they'll start running Arian Foster once he's fully healthy.
Well, the reason I
I
say
don't.
keep him is because Houston's always down in games where Atlanta hasn't been. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if you can, but I mean, if you can get Antonio Brown or Julio Jones, I mean, are you really gonna say no to them
well,
two over
Antonio
him? Because
Brown is
Ben
definitely a
Roethlisberger
good
come back
trade.
and
Yeah, when Roethlisberger comes back, Antonio Brown's going to go
you
back
know,
to his 11, 10, 11, 12 catches. And I didn't realize that he put Antonio Brown. I was just thinking in my mind Julio Jones. So I would actually tell you trade Hopkins for Brown, not Julio. Julio's okay, but
I would say
he's been a
both.
little banged up. But I would say Antonio Brown. If you can get him first. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I think
Brown when
either or.
Roethlisberger comes back, whew, he
No, no,
averages
that's what I'm
like
saying.
10 or
Either
10
or.
catches or more a game. It seems like he's gonna get his 100 yards, but right now he's struggling because he has nobody to throw to him like Roethlisberger does.
See, but Julio Jones has the touchdown capabilities. That's the reason why I would say Julio Jones more.
Um, who should I try to trade? Oh, I'm sorry, Antonio Andrews or Julius Randle. I'm thinking of the Lakers. Antonio Andrews or Joseph Randle at Siggy.
None. Andrews is already in trouble. I heard that as far as playing time.
Yep.
And Randall's losing carries this week to Christine Michael. I think Randall might be your safe choice out of them two for now, but they both don't look good on the long run.
Yeah, that's why I have David Cobb stashed on my bench.
You
Because
know?
Antonio Andrews has not been looking good, and neither has Sankey.
Yeah, so I mean, out of those two, Randall. Then I mean, if we had to pick one of those two, Randall, but it's not going to last long.
Where'd that question go? I lost it. Where is it? I'm gonna miss one. Should I start Bradford or Staffers? I would say
I'm
Bradford.
assuming that's
I don't know.
Stafford.
That's hard, man. Minnesota's D is tough, man, against the pass, and Carolina's is tough as well. But I would probably say, I don't know, man. That's a tough one because both have horrible matchups this week. I would say Stafford
I
over.
mean,
I would say Stafford over Bradford though, because Bradford's been playing horrible. He is just bad. I had high
yeah, like I
expectations
said,
for him.
me too.
He
Yeah,
has been
me
bad.
too.
Should I trade Brandon Cooks for Danny Woodhead? I need a running back and have enough wide receivers. I would tell you, yeah. Brandon
I would
Cooks has
think
been
so
a
because right
straight
now Melvin
disappointment.
Gordon's in the doghouse, so
Yeah, and
Woodhead might get even more carries now.
Gordon keeps fumbling. That's why.
Yeah,
Do I start Nate Washington or Crabtree, Richard or Benjamin? I would say Richard Matthews if that's who you meant.
Rashard Matthews. Yep.
Yeah, Richard Matthews has been a good start, especially over those four. Crabtree might have a good matchup this week but that I'm just saying this week because Amari Cooper, they're playing San Diego. San Diego's been tough on wide receivers, so they're probably going to key on Amari Cooper, and that will leave Crabtree open. But I still say Richard Matthews over that, definitely. DraftKings question: Richard Matthews against Houston, Snead against Indy, or Size against Detroit? Siggs. I think he means Diggs. I think he means Diggs against Detroit. Probably a typo.
Yeah, probably Stephon Diggs. I trust Matthews more, but I think Diggs is going to have a really good game. I really do.
I like Snead, but he doesn't get red zone targets. He gets targets. So all he's going to give you is
Yeah, it's
yards,
going
and he's going to give you yards and catches, but he's not going to give you red zone targets. It seems like Watson seems to be the red zone targets, like the tight ends, or he throws to
to. Yep.
running backs. It's like he never throws to wide
Yep.
receivers in the end zone unless it's a bomb, and I don't see Snead doing
Exactly.
that. So I would say either Siggs or Matthews, and out of those two, I would say Matthews, just like Siggy. Should I keep Carlos Hyde or trade him or drop him? I know
Oh,
she's got to
if
be
you're gonna,
joking. She's got to be joking. She's the one that
yeah,
had
trade.
she had Cap. Hold on, she had Cap, Bolden, Torrey Smith, and Carlos Hyde.
Oh, so this is all a 49ers fan. All right,
Yeah,
you keep Carlos Hyde. He's gonna do good eventually, I think. I mean, 49ers are close. They just had tough matchups recently, but
yeah, they're playing one of
you
the
can't
toughest
drop him
schedules in the
for sure.
NFL.
If you can
um,
get a lot for him, I would trade him.
I have Latavius Murray and Arian Foster, so I think I'll accept it. Oh, he's talking about when he's trading a running back. What was he talking about from earlier? I forgot. Oops. I'll just say okay. I was offered Freeman and Keenan Allen for Fitzgerald and Bell.
Nah, keep Fitzgerald and Bill.
Yeah, what's like I said, Freeman has horrible matchups, 14 and 16 against Carolina. I don't know.
Playoff, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
playoffs.
wouldn't do it. No.
And who does Pittsburgh play weeks 14 and 15 and 16?
It doesn't matter.
Pittsburgh
Bell's the
plays.
he's the one carrying the load, no matter what.
Yeah, Bell's always doing well, and Bell's good, man.
Yeah, and then Fitzgerald, I know I don't trust his health, but I mean, at least he's always going to be getting red zone targets with Carson Palmer throwing 40, 50 times a game. So, I mean, right now it was Brown this last week, but Fitzgerald could easily have gotten all that himself. So, I mean, if you're going to trade them two, you can get a lot better than Freeman and Allen for sure.
Oh my God, my internet's messed up. I can't even see who Pittsburgh's playing this week because it's just going nuts here. Or Pittsburgh's playing. Like I can't even see anything. Like it won't let me. It's just acting up. It's acting a fool. It's shacking a fool right now. Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't know. I would never. I don't think I would trade a stud like Bell.
Yeah, they're trolling you now, man. Like Reggie Bush or Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, yeah. See, I told you.
They're just
Because
they're just trolling
I
your
told her
49ers.
not to ask me questions unless they're fantasy questions about the 49ers. So to ask me questions unless they're fantasy. So that's why she's saying that. Allen has been really efficient, and Freeman has too. But Bell is okay. Who should I trade Freeman for? I already have Le'Veon Bell. I mean, I don't know.
If
I
you're
guess
going to trade Freeman, I would try to like I got Adrian Peterson for him, so an Adrian Peterson would probably be the benchmark I would try to get because right now a lot of people are down on him, even though he could potentially go off. Freeman has been great, so right now Freeman is the hottest running back there is. Um, you can get pretty much anybody you want, I would imagine. I
yeah.
would shoot for Adrian Peterson. I guess is pretty much what my answer would be.
I would shoot
That's
for
what I got
I
out
would
of it.
try to shoot for two players
Yeah, you can even do that.
because that way you try to get the most out of your find a weakness on your team and hit that spot up. Should I just give
Pick
up on
two
Devin?
Ivory Foss.
Should I just give up on
Oh yeah,
Devin
Funches.
Funches? Yes.
Yes,
He's
yeah, go ahead and give up
he
on him.
hasn't done anything. Um, Pick two: Bell, Ivory, Foster. You got to start Bell and Ivory. Oh, that's tough though.
Nah, Foster has a great matchup this week. I would start Foster.
Well, against Miami,
Yes.
I don't know,
Miami
but
cannot stop the
who's
run.
who's the Steelers playing again? Kansas City though. I don't know, man. I
Bell will
think
run all over Kansas City,
Bell
and
and Larry
Foster's
Jones.
destroy Miami.
Bell, yeah, but Ivory I think is going to run all over New England.
Like I
I
said, if
don't
New
know.
England goes up early,
I
Ivory's out
I
of it.
bet basically greatest. I think you can't go wrong with starting any one of those two, or any two of those three. Because I think all three are going to
I
score
would
good
pick
points.
Foster.
So there
I
you
think
go.
so. I think that's a
You can
good
go with you
assessment.
can
But
go with
Ivory is a
me,
riskier one if New England goes
Bell
up.
and Ivory, or you can go with Siggy, Bell and Foster. Doesn't
Bell and
matter. I
Foster.
think
So
both are
the
going to score high
common
points.
denominator is
We'll look
Bell.
back on this next week, and we will we will see which did better. I don't know. We'll see. Aria says, "I'm not trolling. Go Niners." If Gates is out just before the game, should I start? If you're not trolling, then you have the world's worst fantasy team. that's what I'm going to tell you. If Gates is out just before the game, should I start Ruben Randall, Joseph Randall, or Terrence Williams?
Terrence Williams.
Um,
He will get most of the action with what's his face, Matt Castle in there.
I think I like Ruben Randall.
Randall, he's no good unless Beckham Jr.'s hurt.
I don't know. I think Ruben Randall over Terrence Williams. Although, wait, but who's going to throw at Terrence Williams? That's the problem. Castle?
No, Castle. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And if Gates is
Definitely
ruled out
not
before the
Joseph
1
Randall.
o'clock games, should I start? Wait, is he playing a 1 o'clock game? He's playing a 4 o'clock. Unless you're in West Coast, he must be in West Coast.
Yeah, his three.
Should I start Evans, the Randalls, or Williams?
If Evans, I'm assuming you're talking about Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I guess I trust Mike Evans more than the Randalls or Williams.
I don't know about that one. I would still say Ruben Randall and Terrence Williams if you're going to start two. If he means two, then I would say Randall and Terrence Williams. Ruben Randall and Terrence Williams. I guess.
Yeah, I would say
I don't
that.
know what his league is or what kind of league he's in, so I don't know what he means. But if he means two, then I would start those two. Yeah, I've got Freeman. Tomorrow's our trade deadline. Should I trade Tannehill and Freeman and ask for Matt Ryan and Adrian Peterson? That would not be a bad pickup at all. Yeah, that I would do in a heartbeat.
That would be pretty good. Yep. Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
If I could also, if Tannehill wouldn't work, I could do Bortles, who would be more fair to offer. I would try to offer, if you're trying to get Matt Ryan and Peterson, I would offer the better of the two quarterbacks. That way you can entice the trade a little bit.
Fantasy-wise is Bortles, but Bortles, a lot of people don't trust him. Tannehill at least has that name that people trust more for some reason. So I think the Tannehill Freeman might work. Might not, but good luck.
Would you start Vincent Jackson, Diggs, or LaFell this weekend? Diggs.
Oh, yeah.
He's on fire. Minnesota likes him. I have Antonio Gates on some FanDuel Thursday leagues, so it started already. Am I screwed if Gates doesn't play? Because I don't think I can change the lineup now. Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think I might have that same
You're
problem.
Screwed.
Let me see.
Yeah.
My FanDuel, let's see, upcoming. I only have one Thursday game. Let me see who's on there. And that one's going right now. And my entry I don't have Gates, thank goodness. I have a chance to change him, and I might change him because I don't trust MCLs ever. If he goes out of the game, I don't care if he scores 5 touchdowns, but I'm just saying, if he goes out of the game, that's going to make me mad because FanDuel, it's for money.
Yep.
My Thursday through Friday, I actually have Gary Barnidge on there.
So all you can do is hope that Gates plays. Yeah, I have Barnidge in most of mine too. Oh,
but
speaking of FanDuel, I need to write the article tonight. So after this, I'll post that up. I forgot about that.
I have Gates in 2 of my leagues, along with Keenan Allen in one of them.
You can change that though if it hasn't started.
Because I have 4 p.m. games only.
Mm-hmm.
I did
change that.
I did a Sunday only, Sunday games only, and I also did a 4 p.m. game only on Sunday, and then I did the Sunday, the Sunday
prime
Monday.
Time.
Yeah, the prime time.
Yeah, prime time. I always do 1 p.m.
I like those because
you only
have to pick like a couple games.
Exactly. That's why I like it too.
And
That's why I pick only 1 p.m., 4 p.m. most of the time. Yep.
Let's see who we got here. We're gonna have to wrap this up too because this ends at really. I should have ended a while ago, but I'm gonna have to wrap this up with a couple more questions. Chris Johnson, Ingram, or Doug Martin? That's a good one.
It says or McCoy. Pick 2. I would pick McCoy and.
Where do you see McCoy?
Ingram has a good. a couple of seconds later.
Oh, oh, I see it. Pick two.
I would do McCoy and Ingram. I trust Ingram more than Doug Martin this week, but Doug Martin's been good. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
think I
tough
would pick
between that
Ingram.
one.
I think I would pick Ingram or McCoy too. Doug Martin, you never know if Sim's going to take the carries or Doug Martin's going to get the carries. You never know who's going to get what. Chris Johnson, they have a tough matchup against Baltimore. Baltimore's run D is actually not that bad.
Well, come on, Palmer's going to be throwing
Yeah,
50 passes this game for sure.
exactly.
So Johnson's not going to get nothing. It'll probably be the other Johnson that gets it.
Pedo says, I'm guaranteeing a LaFell touchdown. Welcome back, gift from Brady. Carolina defense or Buffalo defense? I would say Carolina defense this week. I like Buffalo D this week, but I don't like them over Carolina.
I don't like Buffalo D. I don't like Buffalo D. There's no way the Jaguars want to get Bears in London, so I don't think Buffalo's going to do anything.
Yeah, it's all the questions right now. Yep, that's all the questions. All right, guys. I have to cut this short because it's 12:20 something now. My time, that is. I think for Siggy it's like 11 something, and he's got his baby.
Plus my baby's crying.
I kept it longer because Siggy came in. So thanks for watching. Leave your questions on the Stardom Sit-em video. I'll try to get to them. I got to get to them probably tonight. But leave your questions there. Don't forget to tweet at us tomorrow. We'll be watching football all day. I know I will. I mean, I got to pack and stuff too for the new house. But I'm definitely going to be doing that stuff. So, yeah, thanks, guys. And have a great weekend. Enjoy your fantasy football weeks. Hope you guys all get wins. I know I'm hoping I get win. If you're playing FanDuel and DraftKings, win that money. All right?
Yeah, and speaking of FanDuel, I'll go ahead and put that on the website. So if y'all are still here, it's going to be up probably 30 minutes or so. I'll probably get it done. And I saw a question there. I do trust Deion Lewis the rest of the way.
There you go. All right, guys, you have a great night and enjoy. We're out of here. Peace.